Sports.
We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Today in Houston, the Tigers are right back at it with a chance to equal this series against the Astros. Welcome to Minute Maid Park, Game 2 featuring the Tigers and the Houston Astros. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen. We are glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. In one way or another, Ron, the Tigers have to find a way to get better at bats with men in scoring position.
Well, there's no doubt about that. I mean, those of you that watched last night's game, the Tigers are losing 2 batters into the game. They made an error after that very first batter. You cannot do that against this very talented Houston Astros team. You pretty much have to be perfect if you're going to beat them, and it starts here with the first inning for the Tigers today.
All right, now Garrett Cole will be on the mound for the Astros. We know what he has done since coming over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. He's been as good as anybody right now in the American League.
You know, I watched this guy's first couple of starts of the season, and I said, there is the American League Cy Young Award winner, and he really hasn't done anything to disappoint what I said then. The one thing that he has changed from Pittsburgh to Houston, he's gotten rid of the two-seam fastball. It's pretty much all four-seamers now, and he's dominant with that four-seam fastball. You see that bottom note there, 170 this season against four-seam fastballs is simply dominant. He also has a really good slider, but they have gotten him to buy into analytics. His best 2 pitches are the fastball and the slider, and that's exactly what he will feature today against the Tigers. He also goes north and south in the strike zone with that fastball, not so much east to west, so we'll watch for that closely.
What about Michael Fulmer today? He will take the mound for the Tigers. A really good offense here, even though they don't have Correa these days. He is on the DL, but for Michael, this is going to be a challenge today.
Well, there's no doubt about that, and Michael Fulmer knows this is one of the best lineups that he will see all year. Michael also has the fastball that gets up to 97, 98, and he can overpower you with that fastball from time to time. There you see four-seamer. He throws it straight downhill. Every fastball today will be 95 and above, but he has to go about his business for me differently than the guy Garrett Cole. He's going to have to mix in some sliders. He's going to have to mix in some changeups. He's going to have to keep these guys off balance. He cannot simply come out here today and try to overpower these guys like Garrett Cole will try to do to the Tigers offense. And if he mixes up his pitches and he throws a lot of first pitch strikes, I think Michael Fulmer can slow down this very good Houston team.
And Tigers need a win here today. Game 2 in the series is just minutes away. After a short break, to the Call Sam Studios we go with Mickey York. Back in the lineup today, Jose Iglesias. He missed a couple of games with a hand injury. Tigers Stros, Game 2 coming up. Astros getting together here today. The Tigers starting lineup is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for Ron Gardenhire today, a bit of a different look. It'll be Jones, Goodrum, and Castellanos in your top 3 spots. Jim Odusi will back cleanup. Vmart is the DH. McCann once again behind the dish, and Candelario, Iglesias, and Reyes, who are bottom 3 today for the Tigers. They are facing the right-handed offerings of Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, one of the 3 aces that they have on this team. Charlie Morton, Justin Verlander, also number 1s on this same staff. 9-2 with a 2.57. He's got a power fastball, average heater, 95 to 97 miles an hour. He also has a really good slider and an occasional changeup, part of his 3-pitch mix. Take a look at the defensive alignment behind Garrett Cole. You've got Tucker in left field. Springer, he is in center field. Josh Reddick over in right field. Up the middle they go Gonzalez and Altuve, Gurriel and Bregman on the corners, and Fedorovich is the starting catcher this afternoon.
It'll be a tall task, but if the Tigers can combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, get a free small order of curly fries. Here we go. It'll be Jacoby Jones to get things rolling here for the Tigers, who were shut out last night for the 12th time this year. Dallas Keuchel went 6 strong. Mike Fiers pitched well enough to win last night. Tigers cannot get him any runs, though. And now Jacoby will lead things off here, the Tigers center fielder. Jones at 219 had a double in the ball game last night. Garrett Cole goes to work, and here we go. The first pitch is hammered in the air to center field and hit well. Springer going back to the track, to the wall to make the catch.
That's a nice job there by Jacoby, and all the Tigers should follow suit. And Garrett Cole is going to try to overpower all the Tigers with fastballs north and south in the strike zone, and they will all be about 95 miles an hour. So Jacoby goes up there with a real short swing, short, quick, and compact, but this ballpark held it.
If he pulls that ball, it's gone.
Had a nice conversation with their pitching coach, Brent Strom. He's a guy there with the glasses on, and he was talking about Garrett Cole and what they got him to do as soon as they got him in the uniform. They got rid of the 2-seam fastball where he gave up most of his home runs last year, 31 of those to be exact, and started throwing the fastballs and the breaking balls, and it's been a different world for Garrett Cole in his first full season in this uniform.
He has certainly elevated his game, and as you mentioned, provided them with yet another ace on this staff.
I mean, he was already good when he was in Pittsburgh, but this guy is pitching like he was the #1 player chosen in the country a few years ago.
Nico is in the 2 spot today. Goodrum was held to an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night, and here are the umpires for today's ball game. It'll be Pat Hobart behind the plate, Woodring, Barrett, who is the crew chief, and Barksdale.
That last fastball to Nico was 98 miles an hour.
Here's the 0-2, and it's fouled back out of play by Goodrum. Nico has had only 2 hitless games this month. That's how good he has been. Last night was one of them. And he continues to get starts at second base for Ron Gardenhire. Checked it. Did he go? Yes, he went around, and they will throw to first to complete the strikeout.
That is such a tough pitch to lay off of, and the reason for that is the previous pitch was 98 miles an hour, and he throws both of those pitches out of the same window. And what I mean from that is the same spot as far as the release point, and you see the same arm speed, and it's just so difficult to lay off of it because what you're geared up for is that 98 mile per hour fastball again. This should be a nice confrontation here. As good as Garrett Cole is, Castellanos is pretty good against him.
Strike 1 on Castellanos, who checks in at 306. 15 home runs for Castellanos on the year. Bernstein advantage brings you the numbers on Castellanos against Garrett Cole. Very healthy. Here's the 0-1 pitch.
Also, Brent Schramm, the pitching coach, told me that they will shift a lot more today with Cole being on the mound because balls aren't hit on the ground that frequently while he's out there. They're usually fly balls or strikeouts. Therefore, they will move guys a lot more today. You noticed in last night's game, they didn't move guys a lot with Keuchel because guys can kind of manipulate the bat when Keuchel's on the mound because he's not a hard thrower. Keuchel gave up a lot of hits last night, but the Tigers couldn't get any runs in scoring position.
Cole started walking off the mound, thought he had a strikeout there, and it was a little bit out, says Pat Hobart.
And he's not happy about it either. He's got a lot of Justin Verlander characteristics in him, Mario, I've been told. Verlander's kind of taking him under his wing. They're good buddies now.
Here's the 1-2. Well, 170 strikeouts now in the first half for Garrett Cole. That is a record for the Astros organization before the All-Star break. This being his final start, he is an All-Star this year.
They've had some good starters here too over the years. When you think back to guys like Roy Oswalt and Mike Smith, I believe his name was. Nolan Ryan. Mike Scott, his name, excuse me.
Here's the 2-2 offering. And Nick fights off another one. He has spoiled a couple of tough pitches to stay alive. I was talking to Gardy before the game today about Castellanos and the year he is having and how really amazing it is that since Cabrera went down, really there's been no protection for him in front or behind him. And yet, although teams are starting to pitch around him a little bit more, he continues to produce. Here's the 2-2 again. Line to left field. That is sinking, and it's going to drop. Tucker backhands the ball. 2-out single for Nick Castellanos.
It's a great at-bat for Nick. I mean, he fell behind, no balls and 2 strikes, and he worked the count back to 2-2. And he got a breaking ball that he stayed back long enough with the bat to hit the left field for a solid single. And it is fascinating that he continues to do what he is doing with not much help in the lineup.
Ducey fouls it back out of play.
Nick has demonstrated to us this year that he hits the best pitching in the league. He just doesn't pick on the 4th and 5th starters. He hits the number 1s and the number 2s. And that's a sign of a really good hitter.
Now the 0-1. Ducey swings and misses 0-2. Well, the Tigers have to find a way to have some better at-bats. And they certainly had their opportunities last night. They had a couple of guys on in 2 separate innings. They had the bases loaded in another inning. Runner goes, and a foul back out of play. They had Castellanos on the move.
Not a bad play, especially if Garrett Cole had forgotten about Castellanos. Castellanos is not a base stealer, but if you forget about him, he can steal your bag.
And this, in many ways, a Tigers offense that needs some jump starting. Runner holds this time, and it's outside.
That's something the Tigers have not been doing a whole lot of, even though they got off to doing a pretty nice job of it at the beginning of the season. They were stealing a lot of bases, but pretty much the last 3 weeks that running game's been shut down.
Yeah, they have not had a lot of success stealing bags. Ducey swings and strikes out to end the inning. 2 strikeouts for Cole. We go to the bottom of the first. Minute Park in Game 2 of the series, and Michael Fulmer on the mound for the Tigers, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Michael's going to need to be at his best today with that power fastball that will get up to 97. He's got the really good slider and the changeup. He's going up against one of your better offensive teams in all of baseball, so he needs to be on point.
George Springer will get things started here for the Astros. Springer has a big swing. He has homered 5 times to lead off the game this year.
And they've got a lot of free swingers on their team. Springer would be one of those. Altuve, of course, he's a free swinger. George been scuffling a little bit lately, even though he has 15 home runs. He's driven in quite a few runs this year. He hasn't been driving the ball in the month of June.
Driven to center field. Jones on the run. He's going to have room right to the warning track for out number 1. Rest of the lineup for the Astros presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Springer. Here comes Bregman, then Altuve. Gurriel is batting cleanup. You got Reddick and Wright. Gaddison is the DH today. Gonzalez, Tucker, and Fedorovich. The bottom 3 for A.J. Hinch. Boy, Bregman is as hot as anybody in the game right now. He had a big night last night, including a 2-run homer in the first. Scored a couple of runs. And Bregman has already eclipsed his home run total from all of last year. 20 this season, 19 last year.
And Bregman, one of those guys that chokes up on the bat ever so slightly, and he's got very little movement with his hands. And when you have this much little movement with your hands, your head always stays still, and that's one of the reasons why he does so well at driving the ball, because he doesn't move a lot.
Let's take a look at StatCast, powered by AWS.
And that's one of the reasons why you see the Tigers defenders standing right where they're at. Nico Goodrum on the left side of the infield, along with Iglesias and Candy. Oh, good pitch. Ooh, it's wicked. It's exactly what Michael's going to have to do here today. He's going to have to mix in the sliders and the changeups to go along with that 97-mile-per-hour fastball. I'm not even sure what that was at 90 miles an hour. Do you know what that was?
There's a ball that just missed. I'd have to look at it again, but it didn't look
like a changeup, and didn't look like a slider either.
3-2. Altuve waiting on deck. Up and in, ball 4. That'll be a walk for Bregman.
And while we have a moment, let's set the Tigers defensive alignment behind the starter Michael Fulmer this afternoon. Reyes, Jones, and Castellanos in the outfield. At the infield, third to first, Candelario, Iglesias, Nico, and Adduci. James McCann back behind the dish for the second consecutive day.
The pitch in question, Rod, has been called a changeup.
It's a hard changeup at 90.
Here's Altuve.
Might want to soften that a little bit.
Slice to right center field, base hit. Bregman is on his way to third base, and he will get in there standing up.
Here they come.
The hit leader, Jose Altuve, has just extended his hitting streak to 11 straight.
He gets that first pitch fastball, and even though Michael tries to get that fastball inside, that bat path that Iglesias takes is wonderful. He keeps that bat head in the strike zone a long, long time, and that's why he's able to pepper the baseball all around the baseball field. And now they've got their RBI machine up, Yuli Gurriel. Nobody in baseball better than him with runners in scoring position.
Gurriel drives one in the air to right field. Castellanos coming over, runner tagging, catch made. Here comes the throw from Nick. It is sailing over the glove of McCann. It'll be a sac fly and an RBI for Gurriel.
And Nick can't make that mistake by airmailing the cutoff men trying to get the out at home plate. It was going to be very difficult to throw Bregman out. He has very good speed. And so what Nicholas should have done is either thrown it low enough so they could cut it to make sure that Altuve did not get in the scoring position. As you can see, Altuve now in scoring position as a result of that throw.
Here is Josh Reddick. Gurriel with his 51st RBI. The Astros a 1-0 lead.
Huge crowd here today as well.
Going to appeal at third, saying he left too soon, but Lance Barksdale said he did not. Reddick at 257 trying to drive in a 2-out run, was 0 for 4 in last night's opener. That'll get away from McCann, and he thought about it, but Altuve put on the brakes. Fulmer went 7 in his last start against Texas, struck out 6, allowed 2 earned runs. Came in with a record of 3-8, but the Tigers have not supported him with much offense. There's a swing and a miss and a ball up and out. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And that's how you want to attack Josh Reddick. You want to stay up with your fastball in the mid-90s. He's a very good low ball hitter.
Good pickup by James.
That's a better velocity right there with the changeup. That one was at 88. If you're going to throw your fastball at 95 to 97, you'd like to have at least 8 or 9 miles per hour differential in speeds between the fastball and the changeup. That's what keeps hitters off balance.
Two and 2 on Reddick. This is a Houston team that will score some runs. In fact, their run differential after last night is now a +183, which is the highest in Major League Baseball.
It's ridiculous how good they are, man. Their team ERA is under 3, which means they're not giving up more than 3 runs a game on average, and that's just ridiculous to me.
They came in with 63 wins. Only the Red Sox have more wins this year. Slap foul. Reddick is a veteran that's been around. He's been with several different teams. We remember him also in the American League with the Athletics, won a Gold Glove with the A's. Dodgers, Red Sox, his other 2 stops. Little pop-up, shallow center field. This might be trouble. Jones diving, can't get it. A run will score, and Reddick dives into second with a bloop double. And some bad luck there for Fulmer.
And Fulmer makes a pretty good pitch. It's at the bottom of the strike zone. It's not a strike, and you can see that Reddick was fooled. But he still got enough of it to hit it out there where neither outfielder or infielder could catch it. And he noticed that both Goodrum and Iglesias were out there and nobody was at second base. So he got himself a hustling double.
Tenth double of the year for Reddick. It is 2-0 Astros. And here is Evan Gattis.
Now this lineup just keeps coming after you. Gattis has got some serious power.
Gattis has 62 RBIs this year, but he is really struggling right now. He is 0 for his last 17.
As hot as he was in month of June,
yep.
He had to cool off, son.
30 RBIs in June.
Yeah, he had to cool off. So they had 2 guys with 30 RBIs in June?
Bregman and Gaddis.
My goodness.
And Bregman has not pulled off.
They say Gaddis might be the strongest man in baseball. I wouldn't doubt it.
I ain't going to test it. How about that beard?
Is there a fight down there? You're not going to get Gaddis?
No, I'm not getting Gaddis. Line foul out of play.
He old school too, dude. Look at him, man. He big old beard, no batting gloves. He got one thing on his mind, and that's to leave Earth, get the ball out of the ballpark.
Gaddis last year had 55 RBIs, 62 already this year. So quite a few of these Astros are beyond their numbers from last year.
You can watch Gaddis when he stands in that batter's box, how flat he keeps that bat. And really, he just takes that bat from right where it's at. And he just tries to keep it in that same angle when he gets it through the strike zone.
Now Fulmer's 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase. He foul tipped at the end of the glove to end the inning. Astros scored twice, and we go to the second. They're Chevrolet's most dependable players. This ball game today is featuring some high-octane petro.
Yep, Garrett Cole, average fastball 96. Michael Fulmer, his average fastball 96 as well, 95.8 to be exact. But the list, man, all those guys have great secondary pitches too. Cole, Severino, Michael Fulmer, Fultonevich as well. They don't just have power arms, but they've got nice secondary stuff.
Fultonevich is just now coming into his own. Victor Martinez leads it off.
Been watching Victor Martinez a long time, man, in baseball. And last night for me may have been the toughest night I've ever seen Victor have, with those 4 infield ground balls that he hit. For whatever reason, he just was not picking up that baseball last night.
1-2. Well, it's been tough really to watch Victor over the last month. He had decent numbers early on, hit a couple of homers, has 4 for the year, drove in some runs early, but as the season has begun to wear him down a bit, the numbers just aren't there, and he pops this one straight up. Who wants it, Altuve? Yes, one gone. Hey, the Tigers are hosting the Boston Red Sox on Friday, July 20th at 7:10 p.m. And the first 10,000 fans receive a floppy hat. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or go online at tigers.com with the big bad Red Sox coming in.
And you know they'll probably be starting off the second half with guys like Chris Sale, Rick Porcello. Pitching not easy for the Tigers to face here last few days. You got Cole today, Verlander tomorrow. And right after the break, you've got the Red Sox coming to town.
Here is McCann now with 1 out.
Garrett Cole, as we told you earlier, gave up 31 homers last year. He's only given up 14 so far this year. He's not throwing the two-seam fastball, the pitch that he gave up most of those home runs on. And Brent Strom said it was very easy to convince Garrett to start throwing that four-seam fastball a little bit more often. And of course, you cannot argue with the results.
Spray chart on McCann, heavily weighted to the left side of the infield. That's why they haven't played that way.
Apparently, the scouting report that Cole has on James McCann is throw him breaking balls. And first number of pitches all breaking balls, but now you can't look for one, not with 2 strikes when he's got 97.
Tigers now have scored in only 2 of their last 30 innings.
Ooh.
Think about that for a while. Now, they did have plenty of opportunities in the Tampa series and a few last night as well.
Yeah, just not getting it done with runners in scoring position, but that's been a year-long thing for the most part.
I mentioned last night that, that's by and large a product of having a young, inexperienced offense. But I think, Ron, there comes a point in the season where, even young guys have to put into practice what Lloyd McClendon and Phil Clark are pushing in the cage.
No doubt. You got to have better at-bats. I mean, that's what you have to focus on when you have runners in scoring position. You just have to fight to put yourself in the best possible situation to put the ball in play and not leave the strike zone, because you may be up there panicking because the game has sped up. And it does speed up from time to time on the younger players.
Off the plate outside, 2-2 on McCann.
He's thrown McCann everything. He's thrown him the four-seam fastball. He's thrown him a ton of breaking balls. And he also threw him a changeup there that he missed with off the plate.
There's the 8th pitch in this at bat, and it results in a swinging strikeout. 3 of them now for Garrett Cole.
First 3 or 4 pitches, all breaking balls to James McCann. Then he started to mix in a fastball or 2. He threw the one changeup, and then he finished him off with 96 up top.
Here's Jeimer Candelario, who last night batted 8th. He is up to 7th today, but he was only 1 for 3 in the ball game yesterday. 226 for the year now for Jeimer. Candelario stands right on top of the plate. Takes ball 1. Twelve homers this year. The one stat that is striking with Candelario in that he has been a good run producer, or was early in the season. That's how close he is to the plate. Good shot there. He's 0 for 27 now with men in scoring position. 0 for his last 27. And he is in the 2-1 count now against Cole.
Ooh, that's rare. 0 for 27.
For a guy as patient as Jeimer has been. But you brought up the flip side of that a while ago. We were talking about how maybe you can be too patient sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can be a little bit too patient, especially against a guy like Garrett Cole. You know he's going to give you that first pitch fastball.
He took his walk. 2-out walk for Candelario.
Maybe that's a good sign for Candy.
Hey, by the way, stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll be selecting the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's.
Brent Strom, their pitching coach, said he felt like Jose Iglesias was most equipped to have success against a guy like Garrett Cole because he has that flat bat, is what he said. He says he has that flat bat and he doesn't overswing, and he said he might have success against Garrett Cole today.
I think you would say that Iglesias, maybe more than anybody in the Tigers lineup, has a really kind of a two-strike approach the minute he walks in the box.
That's right. He's short. He doesn't have a lot of movement either with his hands.
Line drive right to third, and Bregman hauls it in.
But Strong is right.
Sure was.
That's a bullet right there.
Absolute missile hit to Bregman.
Get the married men off the infield.
No runs, a walk, one man left, and look out. A stab by Bregman. Three in the lineup for the Astros. Now they lead 2-0. It'll be Gonzalez, Tucker, and Fedorovich facing Michael Fulmer, who looks at ball one. Fedorovich, or Gonzalez does rather. Marwin in the ball game last night, 1 for 4 for the Astros. By the way, that ball hit off the bat of Iglesias, better than 101 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Right at Bregman at third. That ball was headed to the corner down the left field line.
And lone member on the infield would be Candelario on the left side. Everybody else on the right side of the infield. We had a real good shot at Bregman at third baseman, who was a really good defender down at third base. Right before that ball gets into the hitting zone, you can see him really jumping up and getting on the balls with his feet, man. And that's how he makes so many nice plays over there.
Bregman was a shortstop in college and in the minor leagues.
Mm-hmm.
So those skills have transferred well to third base, the hot corner.
Yep.
Three and one now on Gonzalez.
Also learned last night, too, we have a few more LSU Tigers in the house as far as baseball players. Will Harris and also Coleman on our team went to LSU along with Jacoby Jones and Bregman.
Matuk.
Yep. 5 of them. That's rare, man. You got 50 players and 5 of them in the building went to LSU.
Shovel toss to first in time to get Gonzalez. One gone. Well, as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moments later in today's game.
I was trying to think of who this young man reminded me of. There's somebody in the big leagues that he looks just like in the batter's box.
Tucker?
The kid Bellinger.
Oh,
he really
Cody
reminds me of Cody Bellinger. I mean, that straight up and down stance. I mean, they've got that severe launch angle swing. Because he's not big in stature, but he had 14 homers in the minors leagues. That's what you said last night, right?
Yeah, they say he's got wiry power.
Mm-hmm.
And 14 long balls, knocked in a lot of runs. 66 in the minors this year.
He's got a wiry body. I mean, if you watch his bat, as soon as the ball gets in the hitting zone, he just flattens it out. And the same swing as a lot of these guys have in the big leagues. They take that flat bat and they just try to get the flat bat through the strike zone, and they try to catch it on the upswing to create that fly ball swing.
Here are the particulars on Kyle Tucker. 6'4", just 194. Tampa, Florida. Went to Plant High School in Tampa. Did he go? Nope.
He stands about 6'4", and those numbers are under 200 bills, but he really hasn't filled out. His body's going to get up to about 215, 220 in the next couple of years, and he's really going to be a man.
Three and two on Tucker. He's only 21 years old. His brother Preston, as we mentioned last night, played with the Astros, and at Plant High School, Preston Tucker had the all-time home run record at 29.
Ooh.
So Kyle, his brother, in the last game of his high school career, was tied with his brother at 29 homers, and he hit 2 more on the last day. And so now he, not his brother, is the all-time home run leader at Plant High School.
How about that? Bragging rights.
Yep.
Bragging rights, man.
There's a lot of bombs.
And there's some stories they can tell at the Thanksgiving table, Christmas table.
And he draws the walk. It'll be a 1-out base on ball. Well, tomorrow on Fox, Pogba, Mbappe, and France take on Luka Modric and Croatia in the FIFA World Cup final. Coverage begins tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, or stream it live on the Fox Sports app.
That's the last time you're going to have to read that?
That's the last time I'm going to have to struggle with those names.
You have not struggled with it at all.
Well, I've missed on a couple of them, but we'll get there. Here is Federovic. Fulmer now with 2 walks. .192 for the veteran backstop Federovic.
Michael Fulmer 5 of 9 in first pitch strikes, first time through the lineup today.
Back out of play. Out of the reach of a Ducey. It is indeed a huge crowd here this afternoon. With Garrett Cole throwing today, they'll have Verlander throwing tomorrow against Liriano.
Today was Justin Verlander K-counter bobblehead giveaway, and people were lined up around the building to get the bobblehead.
The 0-2. Bobbleheads are big time, man. Did Verlander have like the 5 o'clock shadow on his face?
He may have.
On the bobblehead?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They gave us one. They were kind enough to take care of us. Very appreciative.
1-2 on Federovic.
Now you're a big time bobblehead collector, though, right?
Kind of. I got a few. A base hit to center. Tucker on his way to third. He is in there. Oh, Jacoby threw that ball right into the ground. Not a very good throw at all. And Tucker was able to get to third base. Federovic found a hole.
Tucker slowed down as he got to second base, and trying to bait Jacoby Jones as he was going to stop, and then he turned on the Jets, and Jacoby fired it over to third base accurately, but nothing on the throw.
Well, it really was a good bait job there. He clearly slowed down approaching the bag.
This Astros team, I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I bet they go first to third as well as the Angels bunch does. Tigers were doing a lot of that earlier in the year, too. They were aggressive, first to third running baseball team.
Springer skies one toward right field, slicing foul ground. Oh, and 1 on Springer, fly to center in his first at bat.
I was talking to Gary Pettis as well today, and he was saying that they've got a lot of speed, a lot of team speed, but he says their team doesn't run as much as they used to run. It's kind of like the analytics. Most teams don't steal. The Astros don't run as much as they used to. It's kind of a wide league thing, I guess. What was that?
Well, it looked like it was a strike right at the knees.
It'd be nice to have that pitch.
No kidding. This will be the 40th coming up now for Fulmer.
Was it low?
No.
Oh, my goodness.
A strike. Look out, up and in. And on his hands at 95, and now 2-1 on Springer.
And dangerous fastball count here to a really good fastball hitter.
Line drive, base hit down the left field line. Only get one run in. Fedorovich rumbling toward third base, and he's in there standing up. It is a double for Springer and a 3-0 Houston lead.
One count. There's no doubt that he's looking for a fastball. He threw him the breaking ball, and he was fooled and out in front, but still drives the ball down in the left field corner for a double, and the third run of the afternoon already for this high-octane Houston Astros offense.
And we'll get an early visit to the mound here by McCann. Here is DTE Energy's Know Your Own Power. Bregman with the most home runs since June the 1st. He has hit 15 along with Jesus Aguilar of Milwaukee and Max Muncy as well. Infield in a couple of steps now, and there's the ball pulled off the base hit. 1 run scores. Springer coming around. They're going to try and score him. Throw to the plate. He is out at home plate. That was a very aggressive move down there by Gary Pettis, and he was out by a wide margin.
Bregman first pitch swinging again, and Reyes has a very good arm from the outfield. Very aggressive third base coaching there by Gary Pettis. Even though Springer's got good speed, it was a one-hop throw that McCann grabbed and reached back to apply the tag to George before he touched home plate.
Clearly out at home. Good tag by McCann. Singled. He'll take second on the throw. Bregman gets an RBI and another outfield assist. The Tigers have 22 now. Altuve fouls it away. Singled, scored a run in the first, did Altuve. Altuve now has hit safely in 22 consecutive home games.
There's Justin Verlander. I'm sure that he has talked to Michael Fulmer quite a bit this year, and I'm sure he also gave his teammates a little bit of a scouting report on Michael. Those two became very good friends when Fulmer and when Justin was a Tiger.
Grounded towards short, Iglesias. And that'll do it for the Astros. They had 2 more runs. We go to the third.
goodness.
Sometimes it's just your year. And it has been for the Red Sox.
How many grand slams do they have this year? I think Betts has 3 alone by himself.
Does he really?
I believe so.
They're doing it, getting her done. Here's Reyes here in the 3rd.
They had their 10-game winning streak snapped last night by the Toronto Blue Jays, but they're right back at it again today with another victory.
67 wins now for the Red Sox.
That's their 9th grand slam.
This year?
This year.
Come on.
They've got 9. Somebody else has 9 too. They're tied with somebody. Tied with the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Ooh, wow. Reyes waits on a 1-2.
You and I were talking before the game, and we noticed that when Garrett Cole came out of high school, he was the 28th player chosen in the country, which meant he was a first-round draft choice by the Yankees, but yet he didn't sign.
Flying to left field and caught there by Tucker. Want to hold that thought. We'll get back to that because it really is interesting. The Red Sox, meanwhile, are coming to town on Friday, July 20th through Sunday, the 22nd. Great seats are on sale right now. It's 866-66-TIGER to see the Red Sox, or go to tigers.com. Right out of the All-Star break, the both Sox come a-calling. One away now, and there's a ball outside to Jacoby Jones. So
now, we've heard of guys that get drafted fairly high and don't sign, but it is rare for a first rounder to turn down millions of dollars to go to college.
Well, you better hope you have a good college career and that you're a first-round pick in 3 years.
He parlayed it into being the first player chosen in the country after his junior season at UCLA. A lot of times when you see situations like that, Mario, where a guy like Cole clearly is a good pitcher and knows he's got a future in baseball, sometimes he wants to go to the same alma mater as his parents, you know, a lot of times.
Yep.
I mean, obviously UCLA is a very good school.
Garrett Cole out of Newport Beach, California, 27 years of age.
Maybe college was a good thing for him too, because that's where he met his future bride, the sister of Brandon Crawford.
Ah, that's right.
The shortstop of the San Francisco Giants. So I guess he turned down that money in high school, but he got him a bride in college, and he parlayed it into being the first player taken in the country.
He and Brandon Crawford now brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Or brothers-in-law.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. 2-2. Low ball 3 on Jacoby.
Who do you think the sister roots for when he has to go up against Brandon Crawford?
Oh, good question. That's a tough one right there.
Is blood thicker than water?
3-2 is skied toward left foul. Well, let's go back to college, more specifically UCLA with Nissan. He was a pretty good tandem with Trevor Bauer there.
Yeah. But look at Bauer's numbers, though, man. 34-8 with a .236. More strikeouts per 9, but yet Garrett Cole was chosen ahead of Bauer in the draft.
I mean, those numbers are not close.
They're not close.
Way better ERA, more wins. Ooh, good pitch, but he missed outside, and that'll be a walk for Jacoby.
Jacoby's had 2 good at-bats today against Garrett Cole. And Jacoby had a good at-bat. His final at-bat last night, he doubled. And I'd like to see him steal second base as well. Tigers have to start to do something. You're just not going to sit around and get 4 and 5 hits against Cole in any one inning.
Nico struck out in the first.
First pitch straight changeup.
Up top that time with 96-mile-an-hour heat.
You'll notice Garrett Cole, he doesn't go east to west in the strike zone. He doesn't work the edges like Verlander will tomorrow. He goes up and down with his fastball at 96 and 97.
Runner goes. And that ball is low with no throw down to second base.
I like it.
Stolen base for Jacoby. Uncontested. That'll be his 8th steal.
It's been a while since they've stolen the base. Ron Gardenhire was saying yesterday that sometimes he'll give signs to some of the guys and they just won't run for whatever reason.
Up top, 2-2 now on Goodrum.
But he'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive, especially when they get on the bases, because they haven't been scoring lots of runs. That's when they were playing their best baseball.
Well, it's also a Tiger team that is devoid of a lot of power.
That's for sure.
Low, and now Cole has gone 3-2 on Goodrum.
Already 55 pitches thrown by Garrett, so Tigers are making him work today.
High ball 4, and it's back-to-back walks now for Cole. And he's got to face Castellanos. It's his 3rd walk of the game. Hey, from now until 11:59 p.m. tomorrow night, purchase any July or August University Day ticket for just $29, courtesy of Fox Sports Detroit. All of these ticket packages include a mezzanine ticket, FSD University Day themed hat, and a $5 donation. For more information, go to tigers.com/summer break. So here is Castellanos now with 2 on and 1 out. Tigers down by 4 early in this game. A chance to fight back into it.
And Garrett Cole also walked 3 Oakland Athletics in his last outing 5 days ago, but he punched out 11 in that outing. Tigers have got the right guy in the batter's box right now.
Castellanos 6 for 11 versus Cole in his career, counting his single back in the 1st.
He started him off with a breaking ball his first time up today for a strike.
Not that time.
96 with a fastball inside. That's what he'll do a lot of as well. He'll pitch inside. He's not afraid to pitch inside. And why would he be with a mid-90s fastball?
Swing and a miss, and now it's 0-2 on Nick. He jumped up to 97 on that one.
I mean, Garrett has been all the way up to 98 in the game.
Cole has 6 games of 10 or more strikeouts this year, including a 16 punch-out performance against Arizona. That was back in May. That'll miss inside, 1-2.
That's another good fastball inside, a couple of inches off the dish. He wasn't going to make a mistake with that pitch.
Swing and a miss. He got Nick Chase. And that is another strikeout for Cole.
He threw Nicholas a couple of fastballs to get ahead of him. Both of those fastballs were 96 and 97. Then he came back with the 0-2 fastball inside at 97 and finished him off with an outstanding breaking ball down and away. That would be our bell tire pitch by pitch.
Jim Adducey rips one foul to first. So now the Tigers look for the 2-out hit. Adducey struck out in the 1st inning. So indeed they are making Cole work. 25th pitch of this inning coming up. 0-2.
He's just got that really nice, smooth delivery, and the ball explodes out of his hand in the mid-90s.
That one touched 99.
Oh, my goodness.
So he has thoughts of ending this inning right here. Missed outside, another heater in 99.
There's another guy that had a high-octane fastball, Nolan Ryan. He was triple digits, and he pitched at what, about 45 years old?
It seemed like he was more than that. Yeah, into his mid-40s,
and still throwing in the mid-90s with a good curveball, and developed a good changeup as he got older.
There's some guys in the history of this game that were just flat out intimidating. Guys like Bob Gibson, Don Drysdale,
J.R. Richards,
Randy Johnson, and Nolan Ryan certainly in that list. Pulled foul.
Almost a nice grab over there by a fan with a glove. Saved everybody. That was a missile. I think he's going to make a mistake with that breaking ball. He might come back with that fastball again. He might get to triple digits here.
Ducey waiting on the 1-2. 2-2. Well, at this rate, the Tigers will be getting into the Astros bullpen today because the pitch count is at 65 now for Cole.
Now, he hasn't been sharp.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out to win the inning. Tigers get a couple of walks and a steal, but fail to score.
When I came up in 2016, it was obviously a big help and influence on me. And you know, he's getting old now, and I tell him that every day. I feel like I was watching him when I was in high school, so to be able to call him a teammate in the previous couple of years, it's truly a blessing. And obviously to be able to compete against him now, although we're not pitching the same day, but it's going to be really cool.
There's the ball driven down the left field line for Yuli Gurriel. That'll be a double to get things started here in the third inning. And Gurriel now with an 11-game hitting streak.
They've been jumping on a lot of Michael Fulmer's first pitches here so far today. And Bregman jumped on the first pitch. That was the first pitch right there. Jumped on Altuve also. Got a base hit on his first pitch.
And they'll bring up Josh Reddick. Another scoring chance now for the Astros. Heard the words there of the starter Michael Fulmer and the influence that Justin Verlander had on Fulmer for the past couple of years. Michael came into the league in 2016, won the Rookie of the Year. And there's a ball outside to Josh Reddick.
And Michael Fulmer getting a little frustrated with the strike zone of Pat Hoberg. He can't allow Mr. Hoberg behind the plate to get him out of his game. Just cannot do it. Not against this team.
Reddick had a bloop double that fell into center field, knocking in a run in the first. Fouled away. So the Astros now already have 6 hits in this game. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the second. That one's off the plate at 96, and Michael, you can tell by his body language, not really thrilled with the zone of Hoberg. That one appeared to be outside.
And pretty soon we're going to start to hear some chirping out of the Tigers dugout as well, and Mr. Hoberg will tell them to quiet down a little.
Hit deep to left. Reyes backs up to the warning track. One away. We check in now with Johnny Kane.
Well, another lot out there for the Astros. You know, Michael Fulmer was looking forward to the opportunity of maybe getting to pitch against Justin Verlander, but they're going to miss each other by 1 day. But when the Tigers got here into town on Houston late on Wednesday night, Fulmer and a small contingent met up with Verlander. They went and had some dinner. These are a couple of buddies. It's not just a teacher-pupil relationship that they've been able to develop, but these guys, as you saw Fulmer joking around a little bit, saying that he's the old man now. You know, you watched him when he was pitching in high school, but certainly passed on a lot of that great tributes, or attributes, I should say, and certainly that bulldog mentality of going after hitters.
Here is Evan Gattis now. You know, Johnny, I'm noticing as you make your way around the ballpark, you're getting closer and closer to Torchy's Tacos out there in center field.
You notice that too?
I noticed it. Is this by design?
But please tell me you brought your wallet this time.
I brought the wallet. I would say probably by tomorrow we'll make it up to Torchy's.
All right.
All right.
We're going to hold you to it.
Yeah.
He's still recovering from the other day, I heard. Whatever he ate.
Well, we're going to show you that thing tomorrow. That is a...
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, it's a burger, grilled cheese, all kinds of stuff. We'll show you that tomorrow. Gattis waiting on the 0-1 pitch. High, towering fly ball to left. It's going to hook foul. 0-2 on Gattis. A leadoff double by Gurriel here in the third. He's standing there now with 1 out. Gattis waiting on the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Fulmer has fanned him twice. 2 gone. In fact, the only 2 strikeouts for Michael in this game.
Yeah, wicked slider that he was able to punch Gattis out on. One-handed swing. Fooled badly was Gattis.
Now Marwin Gonzalez. He tapped back to the mound his first time up, 0 for 1. I wonder about Fulmer, and really Michael's in the same boat as a lot of guys this time of the year, where the name is just thrown about so much in trade talk rumors, and of course a lot of teams have been scouting him recently. You wonder what kind of an effect that has on a guy.
Well, you know he has to think about it because he gets asked the question on every day that he's not pitching. And I know he listens to the television. His name is constantly being mentioned as someone that a lot of the teams have some interest in, and rightfully so. He's very talented and he's controllable. I mean, if a team was to make a deal for Michael Fulmer, they would have him under control for the next 3 years. And which means if the Tigers do something with Michael Fulmer, he's going to give them a really nice return wherever he goes, if he does go somewhere.
That 3 years of control is so huge for teams in terms of contracts and looking toward futures.
I mean, especially if you're going to give away really good players. I mean, you got to.
And that's flared into left, a base hit, and that's going to score a 2-out run. And Fulmer absolutely can't believe it. He's beside himself right now.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, he's given up a couple of those little bloop singles today with 2 strikes. One earlier in the game to Josh Reddick with 2 strikes, a bloop double. And now you have a 2-out bloop double here by Marwin.
Two-out run for the Astros. That's an RBI for Gonzalez, his 37th. And it'll bring up Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, they've scored a run against Michael Fulmer in every single inning here today so far.
Ball 1 to Tucker.
And here's one of those days where Ron Gardenhire is going to have to probably go to his bullpen early today if Michael doesn't have it. Already some stirring down there in the Tigers bullpen.
You know, the one thing the Astros have done plenty of in this series, Rod, is go up the middle or the other way. They've done a really good job of using the entire field.
It's a good baseball team. It's a well-constructed baseball team with some power and some speed, some athleticism, some good defense, some power pitching. I mean, you name it, they have it. They just do. It's a very good team.
Tucker had a walk and scored in the second.
Not long ago, Tigers had a team just like this. Went to the World Series a couple of times. They didn't finish the deal, but they had a team that was as talented as this Houston Astros team. Michael Fulmer is just
He's beside himself.
yeah, he is. And I mean, I don't know exactly where all the pitches are, but clearly it's having an effect on Michael.
3-1.
This kid's got power.
Popped up. Right side of the infield. Iglesias calling. That'll end the inning. They get another run to go up 5-0. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
been much better overall this season. He's thrown a lot of pitches, but the Tigers haven't scored against Garrett. He's got that power fastball. He's got a really good breaking ball. And the one thing that he has done well today, when the Tigers have had a runner in scoring position, he's been able to reach back and get the strikeouts.
So Cole goes to work. The Tigers have not scored since the 4th inning of Game 2 in Tampa. Or Game 3 rather in Tampa, which means 17 innings now for the Tigers. They have not scored it. And Victor Martinez leading things off. It'll be Martinez, McCann, Candelario. Vimard looks at a strike called, and Martinez, who popped up his first time, is getting things started here in the 4th. McCann will follow. There's a ball that bends in for a strike, now 1-2. Popped him up. Right side of the infield. It's going to be Gurriel. Vimard is out, 1 away. Join us tomorrow afternoon. Tigers and Astros finish up this 3-game series. All of your game coverage begins at 1 with Tigers Live. Tomorrow, Tigers Stros at 1 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Detroit. And Justin Verlander will toe the slab for the Astros against Francisco Liriano. Here is McCann.
Did you see the exciting news for Justin and Kate?
I did.
They are expecting their first baby. She tweeted out yesterday.
Exciting times for Verlander.
Yep.
The 1-0 pitch. Max struck out in the 2nd. It's funny how things work out, because it appeared Verlander was going to stay with the Tigers. Then literally at the final minutes of the deadline, he accepts the deal to the Houston Astros, and he had to accept the deal, and he did.
He literally had 30 minutes to decide on his future, basically, whether he was going to approve the trade or not approve the trade. They say that he was kind of hoping that the Dodgers or the Cubs would have wanted his services, because I think he would have preferred to go to those teams. But after coming here, I think he's kind of glad he came to Houston.
Worked out well. Worked out well for the Tigers, because they got some prospects that are really highly rated. Frank Perez, the pitcher, has been hurt, but he's now starting to throw again. Daz Cameron has looked really good.
Balling in Double-A. And Jake Rogers has figured out some things too, the catcher. Offensively, he's always been a good receiver, but offensively, he's figured out some things. And now Garrett Cole beefing with Mr. Holberg. Holberg having a bad day, I guess.
Well, that one appeared to be right at the top of the zone at 97 miles an hour. But Fulmer has had his share of not getting calls today. That'll miss inside, and McCann will take a walk.
Here's the previous pitch that Garrett Cole thought should have been a strike.
Right on the edge.
He's walked 4 today, but he does walk quite a few batters. I mean, he's had an outing this year where he walked 5, so command can leave Garrett Cole from time to time.
He walked Candelario the last time he faced him. And there's ball 1. He's going to reach 80 in the pitch count here in the 4th inning. We're talking about years of control with Michael Fulmer. The Astros still have 1 more year of control for Garrett Cole. He will not be a free agent until the end of 2019. There's a strike called 1-2.
That's the reason why the Pittsburgh Pirates were able to get all the good players that they got from Houston Astros for Garrett Cole, because of that 1 year of control. They had to give up great players.
The Astros got 4 players in that deal in January. Here's the 2-2, and it's fouled back out of play. I think teams now going forward are more and more concerned about player control and deals that they're making.
I do. I mean, because one of the things that we are starting to see, we're starting to see the average age of major league players come down. You don't see as many older players in the major leagues anymore, and the reason for that is because most of the players are young and controllable, and that's exactly what general managers are looking for. They're looking for the younger, controllable players to keep the salary down until they hit free agency.
6 strikeouts now for Cole. Here is Iglesias, who hit an absolute bullet against him in his last at bat, but straight at the third baseman.
Every time the Tigers get a runner on base, Cole just reaches back to get a little extra and gets the strikeout. That one was headed up this way until it hit the top of that screen.
I was convinced it was headed our way.
No, it was taking a beeline for the booth. I love the way the Cole pitches inside. Even though he's missed with a lot of those fastballs inside, he's not afraid to go in there. And I was talking to Brent Strom, their pitching coach, and he said he learned that in Pittsburgh. He said they did not teach him that. He said Pittsburgh is one of those teams that were notorious for pitching inside and hitting people, and Garrett Cole was right in the forefront of that.
Chopper to third base, fielded by Bregman. And that is that for the Tigers. No runs, a walk, 1 left. Here comes the bottom of the 4th. Here in Houston, Mike Fiers, Francisco Liriano, 2 former Astros who pitched in Houston last year, getting their World Series rings.
Rings are absolutely gorgeous.
Fiers threw a lot of innings last year for the Astros. And Liriano came over in that trade with the Blue Jays, both getting their rings today. There's a ball outside, did not go. Fedorovich leading it off. Liriano will throw tomorrow in the final game of this series. 2-0 the count on the number 9 hitter, Tim Fedorovich, who singled as part of a 2-run second. The Astros have scored at least one in each of the first 3. High fly ball right center. It'll stay in the ballpark. And Castellanos hauls it in. First out of the 4th. That'll bring up George Springer. Double RBI for Springer. Slice to right. There's another example of an Astros hitter going the other way.
That is the 5th hit today on first pitches. 8 hits total, 5 of those on first pitches. And why not? You know, Michael's going to throw you a first pitch fastball a lot of times. And that's a pretty good swing there by George Springer. And you brought this up, Mario, the last time. A lot of their hits are up the middle and the other way. They've been the entire series.
And that's something Ron Gardenhire was bemoaning before the game today. His team has been a little bit too pull happy on this road trip, and as a result they came in hitting .229 on this trip as a team. That sliced the other way. 0-1 the count on Bregman.
Bregman also first pitch swing. It looked like he was trying to hit the ball to the right side of the infield, even though they're playing him to pull. After that swing, Nico Goodrum, he moved from where he was back to that position. So there's still a lot of room on that side of the infield for Bregman if he wants to go in that direction. But his spray chart tells everybody that he's majority pull hitter on the ground.
Pulled right to third. Candelario goes to second. 1, and there's the double play.
You didn't catch that?
Looked like he short hopped it, and they turned the 5-4-3. A 6-pitch inning for Michael Fulmer.
Michael Fulmer and Garrett Cole have average fastballs of 95 and above. And here's the usage today. You can see that Fulmer's used his fastball a little bit more than Garrett. Garrett's also used his breaking ball today more than Michael, and Michael's used his changeup. So Michael's used his off-speed pitches a little bit more today than Garrett has.
Victor Reyes will get things started here in the 5th. It is 5-0. Astros have the lead. Reyes hit a ball hard his first time up right at the left fielder Tucker.
Kind of gives you an idea of just how good Garrett Cole is because he's kind of having an off day. And I cringe when I say that. I mean, he's having an off day, but yet he hasn't given up a run here.
Got him. Good breaking ball there for strike 3.
He's starting to settle in now, though. I mean, because he's walked 4. And his first pitch strikes haven't been all that good. That's just a little nasty curveball right there that he really hasn't thrown that many of today. Mostly sliders. Another thing Garrett Cole is doing is working very quickly out there.
Cole's best year was 2015 when he won 19 games. He was 4th in the Cy Young voting that year.
He had a 2.60 ERA that year.
And the guys that finished ahead of him in the voting, Arrieta was just lights out that season.
Right.
And then Greinke and Kershaw. Cole was 4th. Here's a strike called 1-2.
He grabs that ball back from the catcher. He gets right back on top of that mound. He probably takes 10 seconds in between pitches. The hitters have to slow him down.
Jones had a walk and stole a base in the 3rd.
He's quick.
Chop foul. Tigers have one more here, then the All-Star break. Got him. Strike 3. Jones called looking, thought it was high, but not so. And Jacoby begrudgingly walks back to the bench. That is 8 strikeouts now for Cole.
Now he got the youngster Victor Reyes looking at strike 3. It was a breaking ball, and he came back with 97 at the top of the strike zone against Jacoby Jones to get the strikeout there looking. He doesn't go east to west with his fastball. Everything is up and down. And a lot of his fastballs have been up in the strike zone today.
So Cole now has had 96. He'll go over 100 and more than likely today, but he's done that a lot. He's gone 100 pitches or more in 12 of his last 14 starts. And he was on the cusp on the other 2. Right back to the mound. Goodrum is out, and the Tigers go 1-2-3 in the 5th. Still 5-0 Houston.
for heroes, because no matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Astros batting now in the bottom of the fifth. It'll be Altuve, Gurriel, and Reddick 3, 4, and 5 facing Michael Fulmer. And Altuve looks at ball one. He is 1 for 2 in this game. Astros got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 in the third.
And that hit by Altuve came on the first pitch of his at-bat.
Altuve now is 1 hit away from tying the franchise record for most hits before the All-Star break. He's got 129, which leads the American League.
Are those numbers skewed a little bit because they started the season earlier this year and there's a lot more games that they've played in the first half this season?
Agreed. Yeah, that's a good point. I think you'll see a lot of those numbers, the Cole strikeout numbers before the break is a record as well.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
JD Martinez also putting up some numbers in Boston that have never been seen in a Boston uniform before the All-Star break, along with Mookie Betts. Bregman also putting up some huge numbers with his doubles, so I think we're seeing a lot of that. Nonetheless, it's still very impressive.
6-time All-Star now, Mr. Altuve. He is the top vote getter this year.
Tigers will have almost 100 games under their belt after tomorrow. And did you know that we have played 49% of our games, Mario, during the daylight?
You know, I read that today, and I really couldn't believe that.
Out of 98 games now, 97, 49% have been day games.
Wow, almost half.
Most in baseball.
Down the right field line, slicing foul.
If you're wondering, Tigers are 23 and 24 during the day, 17 and 32 at night.
Fulmer came in doing his best work during the day as well. His ERA was 2.67. The Astros got to him for 5 though in this game early. Bouncer up the middle. Iglesias ranging left, and Altuve is out.
One nice play by Jose Iglesias. He has some of the best hands of a shortstop in the majors. Quick throw over to first base to get the speedy Altuve.
You realize we have only 1 hit today?
Yeah, I mean, it's been he's helped us out with 4 walks.
Yeah. So there has been some traffic, but only a single by Castellanos in the first. Gurriel looks at a ball outside, 2-0. Double and a sac fly for Gurriel. 15 seasons in Cuba before coming stateside. Here's the 2-1. Sliced the other way, but right at Nico. Gurriel likes hitting that ball to right field, doesn't he?
He really does. I mean, and that's the way that he stands in the batter's box and he takes that kind of pass with his bat. He's a professional hitter.
Here is Reddick. Double RBI for Reddick in this game. It's a Bender that drops in for a strike. Fulmer again wanted that pitch, did not get it. 96 that just missed the outside part of the plate. Driven deep to right field, down the line, and that ball is way gone. A 2-out solo shot for Josh Reddick.
We were talking about Josh Reddick a little earlier, and we were talking about the fact that he's a pretty good low ball hitter. So you want to attack him up in the strike zone. Here's a breaking ball, and he just goes down and get it, and he gets underneath it and connects for a solo shot.
Ninth home run for Reddick, and it's 6-0 Astros. Evan Gattis fouls it back. That is the 9th hit of the afternoon now for Houston.
That is also the 13th home run that Michael Fulmer has given up this year. The exact same number that he gave up all of last year was 13 homers. So he's ahead of that pace.
Reddick with 2 RBIs in this game. Tigers getting some action now in the bullpen. It'll be lefty Blaine Hardy starting to warm up.
Absolutely nothing wrong with the velocity of Michael Fulmer. Just about every fastball that he throws up there is 95, 96.
All 6 of the runs today are earned runs charged to Fulmer. They have scored in every inning but the 4th. Here's the 2-2. Pulled to left field, down the line. That ball is up, and that ball is gone.
That might be it for Michael. That is another 2-2 fastball that Gattis was able to get to.
That's going to be it.
Yeah, Michael probably going to have a few choice words for the home plate umpire, Pat Holberg, as he walks off. Let's hope not, though.
Back-to-back home runs by Reddick and Gattis with 2 outs will signal the end for Michael Fulmer. Pitching change here in Houston. We'll be back. Bell Tire. For tires and auto service, everybody needs a Bell Tire guy. And it's Chevy Truck Month. Bring on the new and hand down the old. Chevrolet, find new roads. Michael Fulmer is done for the afternoon. Evan Gaddis' home run will chase him.
That was a changeup, I believe, to Gaddis. It was a breaking ball that the previous hitter had of the ballpark, Josh Reddick, but that was a 2-2 changeup up in the strike zone that Gaddis was able to get on top of. So Michael Fulmer's now giving up more homers this year than all of last year.
Wall side windows pitching change. Blaine Hardy comes out of the bullpen.
18th contest for Blaine Hardy. Some of those starts this year. 3.40 ERA. I really like his strikeouts to walks. 40 punch outs. He's only walked 14. He's always around the plate. 4 of the 7 runs today scored by the Astros have come after 2 outs.
Well, you mentioned how the velocity and the stuff of Michael Fulmer was pretty good today. I mean, what was the difference?
It's kind of hard to figure out, man. And I know it's kind of puzzling probably to Rick Anderson, the pitching coach down there, because when you have 95 to 97, 98, and you've got a really good slider and you've got a good changeup as your 3 weapons, and I mean they're good weapons, you would think that he would be able to compete more against this Astros team, which is a good team, but yet would be able to compete more.
Nick Castellanos will lead things off, and the Tigers come up in the 6th. Last night.
Ridiculous.
Hamilton backing up at the wall. Oh,
He's making one of these, it seems like, every week.
Unbelievable.
And center field. One of the great plays we've seen in 2018. Holy smokes, what a play.
Great catch by Hamilton. We've seen a lot of great catches this year.
You know, guys that make catches like that in the outfield, they say it's equally as exciting to them as hitting a homer.
I believe it. He took one away there. Here's Castellanos.
And first time up today, Castellanos got a breaking pitch from Garrett Cole. And the last 2 times he started him off with fastballs. Every time Nick has gone up today, Garrett Cole has gotten ahead of him with a first pitch strike.
Slice to right field, and that'll get down. Castellanos goes the other way with his second hit.
He's just a good hitter, man. Here's some other great catches this year. And of course, Jacoby Jones made a really nice catch. Kevin Pillar made a really nice catch as well. And yesterday, Billy Hamilton. Look at the elevation of all 3 of these athletic players. Who got up the highest? Like Pillar got up the highest.
Looked like it. Which one of those 3 was the best?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
I think for me, Jones was the best. Now the most acrobatic seemed to be the one that Hamilton made.
Right.
Because his body was contorted.
Yeah.
There's a high fly to center field. It's going back there, still going back, and Springer's going to run it down.
Yeah, really can't go wrong with either one of them for sure. They're all special catches. I was asking Gary Pettis, their third base coach today, who was an outstanding outfielder. He won a few Gold Gloves with the California Angels at the time, and he also won a Gold Glove with the Tigers, did GP. He told me that his best outfielder was Josh Reddick. Best all-around outfielder was Josh Reddick, and he said it wasn't even close. He throws to the right bases. He's always in the right spot. He gets tons of assists from the outfield. He's a really good outfielder, he said. And they've got a lot of them. Risnick's an outstanding outfielder. The Tucker baby in left field's a good outfielder. And you know what Springer does in center.
But I think it speaks to the little things like arm strength, hitting cutoff men, throwing the bases.
Yep.
With accuracy.
Don't make mistakes out there.
High fly ball in the air to right center field. Springer is on the move for this one as well. And that is out number 2.
Here is our Xfinity high-speed pitch, and why not to use it for Garrett Cole today. 99, I believe, is his top fastball. Yep, there it is. And he's gone as low as 79.
McCann, a walk and a strikeout.
Tigers with 2 hits in the game, and the young man standing on first base has both of those hits.
And you had him in Ram pick the stick today, correct?
Yeah, I sure did take him today. He came in 5 for 10 against Garrett Cole, which kind of speaks volumes of the skill set, really, of Nicholas Castellanos, because there's not a lot of guys walking around hitting 600 against Coleman, as he is now. Cole, I should say.
Good stop there by Fedorovich. 1 ball, 1 strike on McCann. Tigers had a pair of walks and a steal in the 3rd, but strikeouts of Castellanos and Adduci. Not too many chances to score today against Garrett Cole. Chopped to third base, fair ball down the line. It's going to go to the corner. Castellanos come to third base. They're going to try and score him. Here comes Nick to the plate. Throw coming home, and he's safe. It'll be a double and an RBI for James McCann.
It's a nice job there by Dave Clark, and Tigers third base coach, recognizing that the youngster Tucker had a little difficult time in that left field corner with that baseball, so he was able to score Castellanos.
That's going to be it for Garrett Cole.
Good hustle by Nicholas.
So the Tigers get on the board. Cole is done and will be back. chase Garrett Cole out of this game, but again today it's kind of been a mystery in how Michael Fulmer has continued to struggle, Rod, with the stuff he has had.
Yeah, and I know that it's very puzzling to Rick Anderson, the new pitching coach. I mean, when you have that kind of stuff, I mean, 97 and 98, and you've got the wipeout starting, you also have the changeup. You would think that he would fare better, and I'm sure they'll figure it out. He's got some bullpen sessions after the All-Star break, and I'm sure he'll come back the second half of the season a fresher and a newer and hopefully more successful Michael Fulmer.
So in the meantime, the Tigers have a man at second now with 2 outs. And a run in. Jeimer Candelario is the batter, and a wall-side windows pitching change. It's Joe Smith. There's a strike called on Candy. 1 ball and 1 strike. Houston's bullpen ERA is a very strong 2.82. Swing and a miss. Much different look here between Cole and Smith. Jeimer in the ball game, walking a strikeout.
The Houston Astros jumped at the opportunity to sign Joe Smith as a free agent. They signed him in December. Most of the relievers were coming off the board first this offseason as far as free agents were concerned. And Joe Smith was one of those guys. He's also, Mario, one of those guys that was in that bullpen of Cleveland's last year down the stretch, and a guy that they really missed this year. He's another reason why that Tribe bullpen is so poor this year. It gives you a different look, that down from under look.
He was on the DL in June with some elbow soreness.
And that was his second tour of duty, as a matter of fact, with the Cleveland Indians. Also spent some time last year with Toronto.
High, ball 3, 3-2. The runner at second, still the property of the starter, Garrett Cole. Now the 3-2 popped up left side of the infield. Gonzalez, the shortstop, to end the inning. Well, Johnny Kane's Houston adventure continues. You won't believe what NASA let him do. More from Commander Kane when we return. The Tigers are hosting the Boston Red Sox on Saturday, July 21st, 6:10 p.m. start. The first 10,000 fans receive a Ron Gardenhire gnome. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Now Blaine Hardy back to the hill. Kyle Tucker leads it off for the Astros. It'll be Tucker, Fedorovich, and Springer. Tigers got a run back on the RBI double by James McCann, scoring Castellanos. 1 ball, 1 strike on the youngster Tucker. Only 21 years old, is the youngest active player right now in the big leagues. Two and one. Michael Fulmer goes 4 2/3, 10 hits, 7 runs. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts before departing and giving way to the lefty Hardy. That'll miss outside. Run the count full now, 3-2.
Blaine's had a nice year. He was starting down in Toledo before coming to the majors, and he started a few games. And when he first got back to the majors, and Liriano got healthy, and Jordan Zimmerman also got healthy, so that pushed Blaine back to the bullpen. Tigers are operating for about a month without a left-hander in their bullpen. Now they have 2 down there again with Daniel Stump.
Hardy ready with the 3-2. Pulled to first base and scooped up by Ducey. 1 gone. We check in now with Johnny Kane.
All right, guys. Well, as you know, on the off day here, we had an opportunity to go over and visit NASA's Johnson Space Center here in Houston. And man, we had a great time doing astronaut training yesterday. Well, not just the physical aspect of it, but they also tested my mental capacity, which is not good, as you would imagine. I actually got to get in a Mars rover simulator, and we basically trekked across the surface of Mars, the Jezero crater, and I was able to get to our destination. The mission was get us back to the destination without flipping. And I feel like we did that. I feel like we did that.
Well, you either did or you didn't. You can't feel like you did that.
It got a little rocky at times, but I'll tell you what, man. Some of that stuff, it's like just like being a kid. You know, they put you in controls of this stuff, and it's actual training equipment for the men and women in our space program. So we were delighted that they gave me an opportunity to get back there behind the wheel and to try my hand at it.
Pretty cool. There's a swing and a miss by Fedorovich.
Pretty good straight changeup there thrown by Blaine Hardy. Blaine's got a good straight changeup. He's got 4 pitches. He's got the fastball, curve, and the slider to go along with the change piece.
Here's the 1-2 swing and a miss. Down he goes.
Guys, one last thing to put a bow on our NASA trip. They also, after we were in the Mars rover, they let us get inside another simulator where we were actually tasked with trying to retrieve an object in outer space and bring it back to the space station. And mixed results there. It's really a pass-fail grade, and ultimately I did fail that mission. But anyway, another great opportunity there.
Yeah, but that was your first try, though, right?
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
You didn't have to tell us that you failed, though, Johnny. No one would have known.
Oh, we're looking at graphs and machines and stuff. Nobody would know.
It's true. Better to be honest about it, but hey,
right.
Maybe next time we come to Houston and give it another run at it. I'm bringing you with me, Rod Allen.
Okay.
Let me ask you this: can anybody go do those, take those tours, or was it just a special Johnny Kane tour?
I know that you can get a full tour of the facility. I'm not sure. You might have to know a guy to be able to get that type of access. Luckily, somebody in our higher ups knew a guy, and we were able to bring that to you.
Nice. Well, a great, I'm sure, experience at NASA here in Houston. 1-1 is outside. 2-1 on George Springer. 2 out, nobody on. We're in the 6th. 7-1. Astros have the lead here. Garrett Cole and Michael Fulmer have both departed the scene. Bullpens will finish this up. 3-1. Bregman waiting on deck. Not Savas there. Springer, he's called back. 3-2.
And George Springer with a couple of hits today, starting to see the ball a little bit better. Had an extra base hit his second time up in an RBI. Singled his last time up the opposite way.
To the shortstop, easy hop for Iglesias. 1-2-3 inning. We will go to the 7th inning, and Iglesias will get it started for the Tigers. Of what a bank can be. Come to Comerica, your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives to Motor City. And buy wall-side windows. We can do that. We are the factory. Justin Verlander, Victor Martinez renewing acquaintances before the game. They'll get to know each other again tomorrow. Pitcher-batter matchup when the Tigers face the Astros in the final game. Here is Iglesias to get it started. High fly ball center field. Springer cruising back, still going. And Iggy's out of there, one gone. Wallside windows. Pitching change now with Chris Davinsky in.
Yeah, Davinsky's got a plus changeup. That means it's a really good pitch. As a matter of fact, he holds left-handed batters to a 184 batting average, and a lot of it's because of that changeup. He has one of the best changeups in the game. And what a year he had last year.
Victor Reyes, the batter, is 0 for 2. Both of those at bats against the starter, Garrett Cole. Some Devo fans get it. Davinsky Devo.
Yeah.
It's fouled back out of play.
He made his first All-Star team last year with an 8-5 record and a 2.68 ERA. He had 100 strikeouts in 62 relief appearances. out of nowhere. I don't know where they find him, but they find him.
Pounded back out of play again by Reyes. A lot of changes here for the Astros. Tyler White has come on to play first. Gurriel will go to third. Bregman will go to short. Gonzalez will go to second, which means through all that, Altuve is out of the game.
It makes you wonder if everything is okay with Altuve, or if they're just getting him off of his feet, because he literally plays every day.
2 gone. Reyes is out of there. And bring up Jones. And Davinsky works home a strike. 0-1. Mentioned that Astros bullpen, an ERA of 2.82, so they've been getting it done.
Yeah, many people believe that is the one thing that they do need to add if they're going to capture their second consecutive world championship. They need to add another arm to the bullpen, maybe even 2 arms.
Check swing roller foul.
But I guess with this team, though, Mario, when they do get to the postseason, they're going to get there. I mean, so you have Verlander, and then you have Morton, and then you have Cole. But then you have guys like Charlie Morton, and you have Keuchel. I mean, so you could take 2 of the 3 guys and stick them in the bullpen, right?
And McCullers, you mean?
McCullers.
Yeah, McCullers.
McCullers, right?
Yeah,
right.
you can. Absolutely.
That's what they did last year.
Well, Davinsky, meanwhile, has a 1-2-3 7th. And coming up, the Consumers Energy 7th inning stretch.
Season coming off Mike Fiers early in yesterday's ball game. I had a chance to talk with Mr. Bregman about how he's gotten to this power surge this year. He said it's not so much about trying to create more lift with his swing. He said, I've been trying to learn from guys like Jose Altuve and seeing how when you're not the biggest guy, how you can still create power. He said Altuve works extremely hard on his core in the offseason, so Bregman himself took an approach trying to make his core as strong as possible. And thus far, boys, it's paid off.
I would say so, Johnny. Bregman is having himself a year. He's going to the All-Star game. He's had another big game today.
Not only does he have 20 homers, but he also has 30 doubles to go along with the 20 big flies.
Wall side windows pitching change now as Buck Farmer comes on in the 7th.
I meant to ask Jacoby Jones about Bregman today. Bregman was getting to college when the year that Jacoby Jones was leaving. So they played 1 year together, and I was just wondering if he came into LSU as heralded as he did when he got into pro ball.
He was really heralded when he got into pro ball, to be sure.
No question about that. I don't know if you were with us earlier or yesterday, but they say there's a little joke running here in Houston that Bregman wears number 2 for a couple of reasons. He idolized Derek Jeter, and the second of which is he felt like he should have been the #1 pick in the country that year. So he wears number 2 to remind him of that every single day.
No, I heard the Jeter story. I didn't hear the number 2 story. Pretty good, though.
I mean, that's kind of his mentality, man. I mean, he's just, I mean, I said it yesterday. He's cut from that same cloth as a Pedroia. I mean, just a couple of, all these guys love baseball, but I mean, most of these guys don't get to the ballpark 11 o'clock in the afternoon, though.
True. That's a little bit excessive.
And when you're beating the manager to the ballpark, you know you're getting there a little early. I wonder what Buck's going to come back with here, 2-2. He's really pitched well lately, Buck Farmer. Good fastball, mid-90s, really good changeup. That low strike's not being called today by Pat Hoberg.
Now the 3-2, and it's fouled off. Ooh, and that one drilled to McCann, and down he goes to a knee.
Ooh, that climbed up his left shoulder. That got him in the bicep or something. Guardy out to check on his catcher as well. It's the one thing that Gardenhire remains to be, Mario. He remains to be upbeat, even though they're struggling to score runs and struggling to win games. He badly wants to win some games with this group, but I mean, every time we're in his office, I mean, he's cracking jokes and having fun, and he really hasn't changed. And I guess that's what you want to see from your players. And you want to see your leader and stay the same.
Well, he said before the game today, which kind of speaks to your point, that after the ball game last night where the Tigers just struggled to get a big hit and a big spot, they came in and they were starting to trash talk a little bit. They were just getting at each other and still trying to keep it loose. And Gardy was part of that as well, and he understands what he has here. It's a very young group. It's a very inexperienced group. And it is, as they say, what it is. So really, you can go down 2 paths. You can get frustrated and hope that it gets better, or you can keep a positive attitude and wait for it to get better.
Right, and just keep guys positive and keep teaching. He's talking over there, telling guys watch for the secondary lead, watch for the delayed steal. Still doing a lot of teaching.
First at bat for Tyler White. He took over defensively, and he'll swing away and foul it back.
Tyler White almost looks exactly to me like Evan Gaddis when he's standing in that batter's box. Both guys have big barrel chests. He's a big boy too.
194 batting average so far this year for White.
And what's his measurements? They say they list him at 221, but and 5'11", 221. Maybe that's when he signed.
Here's the 0-2 now from Farmer. And 1 ball, 2 strikes. What are some of those contests those big burly guys would have? Like axe throwing contests and
lumberjack contests.
Lumberjack contests.
Him and Gaddis, I wonder who would win it.
I don't know. They'd both be big timers.
They got one thing on their mind, too, man. Just hit the ball in the air somewhere.
Like that. Deep left field, way back, and gone.
That's all they got on their minds, man. It's amazing.
Tyler White steps off the bench and drills a 2-run shot. (9-1) Houston.
I'd have to get another look at that, but I think that was a changeup that he threw to Gaddis that stayed up in the strike. I mean, excuse me, to White.
Popped up. Middle of the infield, Iglesias. First out of the inning.
And here's one more look at the pitch to White. Yeah, it was a changeup that kind of faded right into his nitro zone.
$11 hits now for the Astros. Ball one.
Whereas a lot of their hits last night were singles. And they have quite a few extra base hits today.
Reddick looks at a ball outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Hardy was good. He came on in the 5th, threw a 1-2-3 6th, retired all 4 that he faced, and now Farmer here in the 7th.
6 of the 11 hits today for the Astros have been extra base variety.
Long run here for Candelario. Ooh, Shamer.
Nice play.
Wow.
He ran a country mile to get there and made a nifty grab right there at the end, throwing out his glove and catching that ball backhanded.
Great play.
Yep.
Sprinting from the get-go. 2 gone now. Here is Gaddis. Tyler White's tag team partner in the lumberjack contest.
Don't they look alike, though?
They do.
I mean, they look identical.
Same beard.
I mean, and same stance, everything. Did you know that that was the first time that Buck Farmer has given up a run in his last 13 outings?
I do now.
He had been that good. You got to go all the way back to the 6th of June, the last time Buck Farmer gave up a run. So even though there's some things that aren't really going well, I mean, as far as the wins and the losses, I mean, those are some positive things to talk about and build upon when you've got a Buck Farmer who's turning the corner.
There have been some pieces that have been good out of the bullpen. They have not been consistent for the most part, but Farmer, Jimenez. Let's roll to third base, and Candy throws him out. Home run by White lengthens the lead. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
this one kind of got away from the Tigers in the 5th frame. And when they went back-to-back, that would be Josh Reddick, the right fielder, and the designated hitter, Evan Gaddis, who did not play in last night's game, also played long ball. One was a breaking ball, one was a changeup. And the Houston Astros haven't looked back.
So the Tigers coming to the dish now as we go to the 8th inning. 9-1 ball game. Nico Goodrum will lead things off. We got 2, 3, and 4 coming up. Goodrum, Castellanos, and Adduci. Tony Kemp has taken over at second. Right at the bottom of the strike zone there. 0-2 now on Nico. A walk to his credit today. 0 for 2 otherwise. Missed inside. 1-2.
Yeah, there's that changeup. That's the signature pitch of Davinsky, and he'll throw it. And back-to-back, he'll throw it 3 times in a row. Oh, there it is. Goodness.
1 away. The Home Run Derby mobile game is back with more competition, more challenge, and more dingers than ever before. Enter the code All-Star DC to unlock exclusive All-Star gear at MLB.com/HRD game.
Different look to the Home Run Derby this year. A lot of first-timers, a lot of guys that you don't necessarily would know unless you really follow the game closely.
Yeah, not a lot of the high-powered names in the Derby this year.
Bryce Harper is there of the Washington Nationals, as is Alex Bregman here of the Houston Astros. Bregman is the only player from the American League in the All-Star competition, Home Run Derby.
Bouncing ball to short. Bregman has it there, and unable to scoop it is White. That'll be an error on Bregman. Here's our Rand Pick the Stick update for this afternoon, and again, one of those days where there's just not a whole lot going on.
It really has not been a whole lot going on this entire road trip. You pick first tomorrow, buddy.
I do. Guess who I'm selecting? I'll give you one guess.
Let me get Roddy Rodriguez.
You never know. I'm going to keep you all in suspense.
Well, you had Ronnie yesterday. He got you a couple knocks.
Yeah, but he also struck out and committed an error. So I got 0. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Left side of the infield. And Gurriel hauls it in. 2 away. Well, here's the upcoming matchup for tomorrow, presented by Wallside Windows. We'll see old friend Justin Verlander on the hill facing Francisco Liriano.
And Verlander has found the fountain of youth. I mean, he's 9-4 with a 205 earned run average with a 180 opponent's average. And if the season would end today, there are a lot of people out there that believe that Justin Verlander would win his 2nd Cy Young. That's how well he has pitched.
He's got the numbers to back that up. But the season does not end today. We'll see how the second half shakes out, but he's been awfully good.
I mean, if you go back to the last calendar year, Verlander's numbers are simply mind-boggling. And there was a time, Mario, when we were watching Justin Verlander and we were wondering if he was close to the end.
Yep.
I mean, he was going that bad one year.
And JV even admitted himself that he was wondering, is this how it ends? Ronnie nubs one out in front of the plate, going to be fielded, and Rodriguez is out. Nothing doing for the Tigers. Will go to the bottom of the 8th. Joe Jimenez coming into the ball game and also headed to the All-Star game this year.
45th appearance for Jimenez, 4-1 record, a 2.85 earned run average, 41 innings pitched, and he has 46 strikeouts. He's only given up 13 earned runs. That's the reason why Joe will be in Washington, D.C.
And it'll be All-Star game Tuesday at 7:30 Eastern. It'll be on Fox, or you can stream it live in the Fox Sports app. Here come the Astros now. Kemp will get his first at bat of the game.
That'll be John Smoltz and Joe Buck, more than likely. All-Star game.
I'm not sure. I would assume it would be.
Yeah.
Kemp, then Tucker, then Fedorovich. Bottom three facing Jimenez.
Jimenez just needed some work. I mean, this is the first time that we've seen Joe since he was named to the All-Star team. He hadn't threw since we left home.
July the 6th against Texas. A scoreless inning for Jimenez.
And Tigers trailed most of the games in Texas. I mean, excuse me, in Tampa. So there was no need for Jimenez. Although he did get up a couple of times, but wasn't used.
23 years old, the youngest Tigers All-Star since 1992, when Travis Fryman was selected at the age of 23.
Oh, Travis.
One gone out for Kyle Tucker. Ball one to Tucker. Walking a run scored. He has popped up and grounded out. 2-0 the count.
I wonder if the Houston Astros are going to allow Joe Jimenez to hop on their charter and go to Washington, D.C. tomorrow with their 6 All-Stars. That's usually what they do a lot of times. The teams that make it, both teams kind of get together and fly with one another.
Ride sharing.
Yep, Joe being the lone member on the All-Star team this year. I thought Nicholas had a shot to possibly get in if somebody pulled out at the last moment, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But there's been a lot of movement as far as the pitchers are concerned.
Yeah, Corey Kluber is out. Blake Snell was added.
What's his lineup going to look like, man, on Tuesday night? I mean, all those power hitters and all those guys having that kind of year.
Ball hit high to center field, not deep enough. Jones under it. 2 outs. Here are the relievers in Tigers history to be named All-Stars.
Not many.
Valverde was the last one for the Tigers before Jimenez.
Of course, Willie Hernandez in '84 made the team and went on to win the Cy Young that year and the Most Valuable Player award in the American League.
In the Hiller, Lopez, Hernandez days, guys went 2, 3, 4 innings sometimes as relievers.
Yeah, those guys are pitching well over 100 innings a year. You don't see many relievers with those kind of numbers. We did mention that Davinsky, Chris Davinsky, who pitched the last couple of innings for Houston, pitched 100 innings last year, which is rare.
One and one on Fedorovich.
Good easy fastball there at 97.
Astros have Perez warming up. Did he go? Did not. Jimenez looking for the 1-2-3 inning. Just got a piece of it.
Just saw a shot there of A.J. Hinch. I mean, this is his second managerial opportunity. He was also the manager in Arizona for a spell. Things didn't go all that well for him in Arizona, but they've gone really well for him. His second tour of duty as a big league manager out of Stanford University.
Meanwhile, Fedorovich staying alive. Springer waiting on deck. This one was taken command by the Astros in the first couple of innings. They got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, and 1 more in the third to back Garrett Cold in this game. And Verlander going tomorrow for the Astros against the Tigers. Here's the 2-2. And got him. Strike 3 in the outside corner. So we'll go to the 9th. James McCann will start things off for the Tigers. I think they will face a new pitcher. It's 22-year-old Cionel Perez.
And Cionel checks in with a 6-1 record. At least that's what he was doing at Double-A Corpus Christi. Had a 1.98 ERA, 83 strikeouts, 22 walks. So he earned this call up with those impressive numbers he was posting in Double-A.
He was signed as a 21-year-old last December, actually 2 years ago in December. There's a bouncer up the middle, ranging left. Bregman double pumps and throws him out. McCann has gone on 1 pitch, 1 away in the 9th. Perez last year pitched at 3 levels in the minor league system for Houston and was exclusively at Double-A this year. Series finale happening tomorrow against the Astros. 1 o'clock with Tigers Live. It'll be Verlander, Liriano. Here's Candelario. And Jamer looks at ball one. Shifting Jamer, and that's why. One ball and one strike.
And Perez is another one of the Astros with a really good arm. His average fastball is 96, and which means he can get up to 98.
Grounded toward third to Gurriel. 2 away.
And he also has a slider that he throws about 32% of the time, and a changeup.
It's going to go to Iglesias. Perez is listed at 5'11", 170. Not very big, but has an electric arm.
He's a slender fella too, so you wonder where he gets it from. Not real big in stature. I guess he ain't been getting that good meal money yet.
Once he does, they'll fatten him up.
Need to start hanging out with Gaddis and White a little bit. They'll fatten him up a little bit.
A little bit outside.
You said they signed him as a 21-year-old, Mario. Where are they getting from? You know?
He's from Cuba.
Oh,
yeah.
Man. It's a good sign.
The 2-1 pitch. Grounded foul.
So I'm sure he and Gurriel must have played somewhere together.
Yeah, you would think.
Maybe even Iglesias somewhere along the lines on one of the Cuban national teams.
And Iglesias able to stay alive. Iggy in the ball game is 0 for 3. Havana, Cuba. Cianel Perez. Ground ball, third base side. Gurriel should do it, and it does. And the Astros have won the first 2 games in this series. 9-1 your final. Now we send you to the Los Angeles studios. Mickey York with Tigers Live postgame.